So today I'm extremely pleased to welcome Tony Vega, who is the founder of a company called Entrepreneurship, which is based in Santa Cruz. Tony is an alumnus of San Jose State's College of Business. He has BS in Business Administration with an emphasis in marketing. He's also taken part in the foreign exchange program of the Nine Road, maybe we'll say how to pronounce that later, Netherlands School of International Business. And he's founded and co-founded a few notable companies in the Valley, starting with Luminous Networks in 1999. He then founded Brilliant Telecommunications in 2005, which is a company that designs, develops, and distributes network timing, management, and synchronization solutions. In 2011, he founded Autolytics, which is a software company focused on delivering an enterprise-capable mobile device as sensor data collector with cloud-based data processing. So you can imagine all the different things you can do with that type of technology. So we're hoping that maybe we can actually start to see things on the screen. Right. My guess is that you might actually have an inspector material memorized for the parts, but read off of it, and then maybe have you start. And we want to make sure that excuse me, how do you want to stop? The benefit of it is many different tools. Okay, we have a chair, but I'm not sure.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right, I'll go quickly through this. We co-founded 3 companies. The first one, Luminous Network, we started in the last century, 1999. Orbis started the company, through 240 people, plus consultants, and operations in Cupertino, Beijing, Shanghai, and also Colorado Springs. So that company was skyrocketing. People wanted to go work for us. We were also listed on the fastest growing company in Silicon Valley. But in 2001, 9/11 hit, and it killed the entire industry. VCs were offered almost $700 million for this company. They turned it down. I personally lost $10 million on Facebook. So it happens. Second company was a spinoff. That was a timing synchronization company. Orbis started that company. We do about 30 people. We actually had more clients. We had Vodafone, Comcast, and customers. But the VCs putting up the plug upon it because in our business, it takes 7 to 8 years just to break into the industry. Because we're at year 6, they got tired and pulled it. And yet Vodafone was on track to move with us, move from hardware to software. And that's the genesis of this third company. They ended up selling that company to $45 million. Signed and sealed. The lead VC didn't like it. She went over to Cisco and demanded a deal died. So it ended up selling to Juniper Network. Once the VCs put money in your company, you lose all control. So the third company is our money. So we determine our future. Okay? There's only 2 of us there. As employees, we have consultants. And we hired engineers. We basically just outsourced everything. And we're at a point in time where we have a client. We're in negotiations for contract that we're talking about now. Okay. And it'll be a 10-year overnight success. Okay. So you can get through this portion here. In the you're going to have a copy of the slide deck, by the way. And I will offer you 1 hour of my time with me off campus. Right, in coffee shop, if you have any questions. I know most students will. Okay, everybody's trying to figure out how you start the company. And make sure you don't have any titles, because as soon as you get money from the outside, they will determine who's who. Okay, if you get a good lawyer, then that will help you in patents. If you can't hire a lawyer, don't have any money for it, You can always set up a visual pattern. And you can do that, no problem at all. You can actually go down to Sunnyvale, the patent office, and ask them for help, and they will do that. Okay? Oh, this one, you have to see this one like. This one has to do about selecting your name, and I'll give you an example. This one says, filing company, who represents. But the website said, reads, or presents. I'll give you another one. Speed of art, website states, speed of art. Be careful when your name set up. You need to see this. Some of the stuff you need to see that it's based on slides that are very important to you, and it has to do with analysis of your business. And if you don't have this information, you are going to lose. You can get something going with this. One of the biggest challenges you're going to have, because you are a new company, you have to determine who really committed to your company, who on your team can actually do that. First company, we didn't have an income for 23 months. Okay, 23 months. My first paycheck was $3,200, and that's what I put in my W-2 because we didn't get it until the very end of the pay. And it was really funny because we got $5 million in on our first tranche. And there are several tranches you will actually go. As your company grows, there will always be cash to expand. And I actually show that on a spreadsheet here. Unfortunately, we don't have the thing rolling. What you do in a small company, everybody has a role. It's across, because no one leads outside the CPO in a technology company. Everybody participates. Everybody sells in a small company. You're not waiting for somebody else to do something for you. Somebody needs to do the marketing, and everybody's involved. If somebody focuses takes the lead. Depends on how big a team you have. You know, I don't know how big your team will be. Could be. I asked somebody, how would you do this in marketing? He said, well, I'll get my team together. And I said, you may be the only team leaders. You are marketing, you are finance, you are management, you are everything. You have to be realistic. One of the biggest things you have to learn is be honest with yourself and your team members. If you can't do it, say you can't. Nothing wrong with that. You need help, ask for help. That's the biggest problem I see out there. People forget to ask for help, and they think they can do it. You can't. You don't have the background, you don't have the experience. Right? You fall down, you get up. And make sure you take a break. You know, you can put in the 14, 16 hours, and that's crazy. You get diminishing returns after about 10. So don't do that. Take the break. You need quality of life out there. Don't waste your time. Okay. One of the things we run into is hardware and software. Hardware students, engineers take software classes. Software students don't take any hardware classes. But there's always a conflict. Always a conflict. So be aware of that. Hey.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thanks too. You're a best. Really broke it.
Okay, this is something we run into. People say, okay, I got a great idea. Question is it really functional? A lot of times this happens. Look at the first image and look at the last image. You see the first image? See what it says? That's what how sales requested it. The last one just says what the customer really wanted. Oh. Okay. Yeah. You're going to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, That means you're not making decisions. You're not making decisions. You're not making decisions how you're gonna make progress. These are 4 big M's that the VCs look for. The management team, market, how big is the market, the money involved, margin. Right, look at that. Unfortunately, we missed out on a couple of spreadsheets. We rebooted everything. Oh, sorry. If I thought of it. Bear with me on this one. Come on. Here we go. Nope. I actually had to look at every single carrier in the world. Every single one of them. Make sure we have a marketplace. If not, how do you know compliance as a place to go? So how big is your market? What is your marketplace? When it comes to saying, I'll shrink it down real quick if we've lost some time. Right, there's a thing of total addressable market, total available market. Available market is global, roughly 6.5 billion. Our target market is really about 4 billion. Understand the difference there? Okay. Ask a question as I go along. Don't be shy, please. Okay. Let's just move forward because we're lost time in it. So who's got the management experience on your team? Who's done P&L, profit and loss? Anybody know about that? Who's done product development, product life cycles? Anybody? What about the fundamental skill set that you contribute to the team? Market opportunities. What are market opportunities? If you don't know, you better find out because the VCs are on you like white on rice. You are going to beat up like Simon Cowell. Oh my God. Can you imagine having 20 Simon Cowells ask me a question? That's the pressure. A startup, everybody knows what a pilot is, right? Everybody's used to that. Startup is a pilot for the game day. You've got to perform. Okay, I'm not going to do the spreadsheets because I don't have time. I'll only do the one last time. You've got a product or a service. What is your product? What is your service? And you clearly define what that thing is. You have a patent. Is it patentable? You have a proof of concept. If you give proof of concept, that's important. You've got a customer, even more important. Once you have a customer of Fortune 500, you can go to investors and say, here's a reference point that lowers the risk and they're likely to put money in. And the VCs never go in alone. They always team up. When you talk to VCs, you have to be careful what you tell them. Because they'll start asking you, how is it done? Because they want to know, because they might have invested in a competitive product. Be really careful about that. Okay. So what's the problem that you're addressing? Can you clearly articulate that? And the biggest thing about a problem, you've got to be able to break it down financially. You can do the technical part, but you have to do is also break it down financially. What's it saving? What's it producing? What's the value? You can't tell me what that value is, then you're wasting my time as an investor. Okay, and also more importantly, as a potential customer, what's your value to the customer? What's your solution? How do you compare that with your competitors? Again, you have to quantify everything. You must quantify that. If not, you're going to lose because you're going to be asked by the VCs that for that information. And say, hey, what's it worth? Your customer. The VCs want you to be successful. They've got pressure from people who put money into them, and they're going to have pressure on you. Every month when they meet, first thing they do is look at your cash position and compare it to what you forecasted. And if you're off, they may pull the plug on you. If you're not performing, they will pull the plug on you. If you're performing, they will invest in you. We had a situation where we needed more cash. And what we did, we were moving on a product, we actually went out to a vendor and put a kit together that didn't exist. We created a kit and say, hey, this is what our customer is asking for. We need to do this and ship it out. We get another $3 million. It would look like we were expanding, which we were. One of the things I talked about earlier, I'll repeat, integrity and honesty. First customer we got, but the second company is called Vodafone. And the reason why we got Vodafone is because we told them the truth. Brought out a product and said, this is what it's supposed to be doing. Didn't quite get there. We couldn't quite solve that problem, though we knew we could. But the incumbent, their current vendor that they've had for years, committed to fixing this thing 18 months prior to us coming in. Over the course of about a month to 3 months, we were going back and forth with the engineers and our engineers. We corrected our stuff. We got in and solved a fundamental problem because we didn't lie to them. We actually got the account. And we always kept our relationship after that. We always told him we fell behind, but we corrected. They trusted us. Trust is a big thing. Integrity. Okay. SWOT. You gotta do SWOT on yourself, not only your competitors, but on yourself. The competition. Who are your competitors? The VCs are going to ask, who are your competitors? They will do their homework. And if you don't match up with their homework, you're going to be in trouble. They're going to rip you. You're going to lose. You're not going to take the money. Okay. What is the direction of your competitors? Are you in lockstep with the competitors? Are you ahead of them? And how are the competitors going to catch up to you? How are you going to keep them at bay? Is it one product that you have or a series of products? The one product is not going to make it. You can break the product down like we did. Our first company, we had one major product. There were also subsets that we actually designed, smaller boxes. And we were saying, okay, we have a family of products. Same thing with this company we have right now, software. We provide business intelligence. Okay, for what? We actually have a modular solution. So we can actually get money in each module. I think a lot of it not single. Okay. One thing we also did in our second company, we were addressing carriers, tier ones, AT&T of the world, right? Vodafone of the world. Anybody know how big Vodafone is? You do. Okay, good. Everybody knows how big AT&T is, right? Vodafone is larger by about 40%. Okay, so we deal with big customers. So we were addressing the industry, and there was also another tier, the second tier market, the rural carriers. We didn't have the bandwidth. It was a small company of 30 people. What we ended up doing, we knew carrier, or at least another supplier that addressed that marketplace. So we worked with them in a private label deal with them, and they went after the smaller fish, if you will. What did that do for us? One, it brought revenue in. Two, it reduced our costs of operation because we increased our volume. When we have increased volume, we're able to reduce some of the cost of goods. So again, think out of the box. Okay, any questions? Okay. Back to differentiators, competition. What are your key differentiators? Can you demonstrate that? Can you show that? If you cannot, you're going to have a problem. When you start forecasting, telling people this is how big the market is, whatever that number is, 5 billion, they're going to go after 8%. You're going to target is actually 3 or 5, but that's the norm. With us, our target percentage is about 0.5% to 1%. Because our target market is 4.5 billion. It's about numbers, they don't. Got technology, they'll be solid, but they're gonna look at the revenue. Because they want to know when they're gonna get paid back, that's the VCs. When they're gonna get paid back, how soon they're gonna get paid back, what's your exit strategy? They want to know that. They want to see it in black and white. Or actually black and red, because that's your profit or loss. Okay. So, value proposition. It's really key. What is your value proposition? Can you quantify that thing? You can't. Why can't you? Is your value sustainable? You're gonna have price erosion over time. Some prices go up. A lot of times, other prices will go down depending on the markets you're in. Are you prepared for that? Can you show me that on a spreadsheet and validate that? Without the spreadsheet, you can't use anything. Okay. One of the things that we've seen out there is, oh yeah, I've got this great idea, great product, and I can actually beat my competition by a lower price. That's a waste. Why is it a waste? Anybody got an idea? Anybody? Your incumbents have something you don't have. Name brand recognition. They got market share you don't have. They've got cash you don't have. They can afford to lower the price and kill your company. What you want to do is bring up a high value product or service with good margins, because there's every industry has a margin you have to keep. Right? What is that margin? If you don't know, you better find out. You can always go to your competitors. If you're a public company, the information is on the website. A lot of information is out there. Okay, so look at price performances and a good ratio. So you want to bring something out that you can outperform your competitor, show the value. That way you sustain the profit you need to expand. Without cash coming in, you can't grow. Without the margins, you can't sustain that. Well, one thing, the first company we did, we said, we had a big challenge. Biggest challenge we had is it never existed. That technology never existed because it was not a standard product. You have to use educate the market at a time. Since you guys are engineers, you're familiar with IEEE, right? 82.17, you know what that is? RPR, resilient packaging, hardening that, providing voice, video, data services, and having the ability to stratify that. Never existed. 60% of that standard was developed by one gentleman standing over there.
I just came
Dr.
in.
Charles Berry.
Yeah, we're co-founders of the company. Nice to see you, Tony.
But it's
Definitely an engineer. Still.
still. So I just thought I'd just throw that in for you guys. Right? But again, you really have to provide numbers. Okay? Okay, barriers to entry. You're gonna be challenged because you're new, right? New management, unproven team, unproven product, you have proof of concept. But at least you've got somebody's going to buy that, that would be your customer. Got engagement, but you're always needing money to expand or keep the company going. There's always that fun factor, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay? So you're gonna see these obstacles. How you overcome them. Every statement you make, you have to defend them. And how do you get into the customer that already has that vendor in place? Any idea at all? Any idea? What do you have in common with the competitor? Any idea? Anybody? Okay. Your competitors all started up as a startup. Every customer, every company, that exists, started as a startup. You can simply say, again, hey, you guys started a startup. Give me the opportunity to prove myself. That's important. Have to keep that in mind. Everybody started a startup. That makes sense, everybody? Clarity there, right? Okay, now go. If you don't have that spreadsheet, you're not gonna do it. This is the fun part. For me. Okay. If you guys are bored, I'm gonna wake you guys up. Ready? No, I'm just gonna throw them out, it's fine. Go for it. Come on.
Back row, back row.
Back row, just do it. If you get bored to death,
Or you can-
the mind can only absorb as much gas as it takes.
Oh.
I've done this for a long time. Come on, don't duck. Okay, speaking of duck. Okay, so if you look at the chart here. Look at this thing here, right? Everything has a distribution model. You weren't awake. How did this product come to play? What's the competition? What engineering went into it? What international laws have to be applied by it? What are the dyes required here? Okay, what are the dimensions for this? Because a child can have this, a child can choke. Right? There you go. Oh, interception. Pick up. Give me one D. Come on. Got it. Two more. Okay. Again, at every point. What is your price on your product? Where do you start? At every point here, there's a different cost involved. Is your price, that discount here, discount here, discount here, based upon the industry margin at each segment? Think about what it took to get this here. What's the price? What's the minimum quantities? All right. Think about that. What's their competition? Who's missing? I'll take it. Look at the other one. I like it.